Did Bryan Kohberger return to the scene of the crime? What Google search you should not have on your computer when your 115-pound wife is missing and you are the suspect? Some Nashville cops gone wild, and then finally, our dumb criminal of the day. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Crime Talk. My name is Scott Reich. You know the drill. Subscribe if you haven't, like if you do, leave me a comment below, hit that little bell for notifications when we go live or put up new content. And since it is Tuesday night, remember we'll be going live 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Please join us. We'll be talking about the cases that you want to talk about, and we will be taking your questions. 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Please join us. And let's support the people that support Crime Talk. Like many Americans, we got a dog during the pandemic. My quarantine dog, Miss Winnie the Bulldog. Now, Miss Winnie has grown accustomed to being around us all the time. When we were leaving the house, Winnie would have extreme anxiety, so we decided to look for natural products to help with her anxiety. We looked for the highest quality CBD treats, and we were not satisfied, and neither was Winnie. So we created a high-quality CBD product that absorbs faster and provides the required results faster. Baked in Colorado, CBD treats and beverage enhancers are made with nanotechnology. The nanotechnology makes the CBD extraction more pure, also allows for Baked in Colorado products to work faster. Baked in Colorado products can help reduce your pet's anxiety, ease joint pain, and help with your dog's skin problems. Go to our online store and see what Baked in Colorado product is best for your dog. When you order at bakedincolorado.com, enter code WINNIE and receive 15% off your first order. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee. If your dog does not experience the desired results in 30 days, return the product and we will refund your money. No questions asked. All right, before we go ahead and open the docket, I want to mention a couple of things. Obviously, we're going live tonight, but second, something weird happened. We put up a video yesterday, and apparently nobody saw it. When I went to bed last night, it was very odd. The numbers were very low, and when I woke up this morning, the numbers were even lower. I think YouTube didn't like the video, probably because we had some discussions with some demonstrative exhibits, and I'm not sure what happened. But anyway, if you didn't see yesterday's video, it may be worth watching, listening to. So go ahead and hit the link below. All right, let's go ahead and open the record for January 10th of 2023, and let's get the docket going. All right, so there's some new video in the University of Idaho murder case that could support the investigators' theory that Bryan Kohberger, the suspect, actually returned to the crime scene in his white sedan shortly after he allegedly killed 4 students. That's right, Bryan Kohberger's phone allegedly pinged in the area of the student's Moscow home around 9 a.m. on November 13th, roughly 5 hours after he allegedly went into the house. That's a burglary with the intent to commit a crime therein, i.e. homicide, and stabbed the students to death. Now, that's according to the probable cause affidavit. That's their theory. Now, there's been some footage taken near the home in the afternoon on the following day showing a white car driving by. Now, Kohberger drove a white Hyundai Elantra, which became a key in the investigation in the search for a suspect. Now, the white Hyundai Elantra is believed to have been driving by the white Hyundai Elantra, believed to be driven by the Mr. Kohberger, and it was seen driving past the student's home at least 4 times on the morning of the homicides. That's right. They are estimated between 3:29 a.m. and 4:04 a.m. Now, the vehicle pattern matched the estimated time of the homicide, and it was later connected to Mr. Kohberger, who, as we all know, was a PhD student studying in nearby college there at Washington State University, Pullman. Well, the footage from the university showed a white Elantra leaving the campus in the direction of Moscow, Idaho, just before 3 a.m. on the night of the murders. The Elantra returned to campus around 5:25 a.m. the same morning. And near the homicide scene, there was video that was captured a white car passing by in the background as the journalists updated the public on the then developing case. The sighting came after police began investigating following the 911 call, which came in around noon. Now, the make and model of the car that's on the news footage is unclear, but it could possibly be Mr. Kohberger's car. We'll have to wait and see. Now, cell phone data allegedly previously put Kohberger in the area around 9 a.m. before the stabbings were reported. The data also revealed an alarming trend showing the accused Mr. Kohberger killer had been in the area of the student's home at least a dozen times before the massacre, at very strange hours indeed. Now, all of these occasions, except for one, occurred in the late evening and early morning hours of their respective days. That's according to the affidavit. Now, the lawyers for the family of Kaylee Gonsalves say that suspect Bryan Kohberger had no connection to any of the 4 students he is accused of murdering. And we're going to have to wait and see. But, we discussed yesterday, hey, everyone asked, Scott, how would you defend Mr. Kohberger? So I laid it out, what I would do. Had some demonstrative aids. In fact, I brought in the K-bar. You have to watch the video to see. And I brought in a sheath from a K-bar. And as you can see, there's the little snap on the top where somebody could certainly leave their DNA, and it could be easily recovered there, indeed. Well, go check it out. Since YouTube didn't want anybody to see it, let's try and get it there anyway. All right, next on the docket, what you should not have on your computer when your 115-pound wife is missing and you're the prime suspect. That's right. Well, the police are investigating the disappearance of the Massachusetts mother of 3, Anna Walsh, and they found traces of blood, a hacksaw, and a rug that was apparently used, and some cleaning supplies while searching dumpsters near the mother-in-law's home. So the district attorney up there says that the items will now undergo forensic testing to determine if there's any significance or if they're something of evidentiary value. Of course they are. Anyway, the police made the discovery while picking through the trash at a Peabody garbage facility, which apparently houses a trash compactor. And Bryan Walsh, the husband, has been charged with misleading a police investigation after he was seen on surveillance video buying heavy-duty cleaning supplies despite telling police he had been home around the time his wife, Anna, was last seen alive. Now, the investigation into Anna's disappearance took somewhat of a twist on Monday when it was revealed that Walsh had searched how to dispose of a 115-pound woman's body. I mean, because everybody searches that on a regular basis, right? And such specificity. It's amazing. Well, Anna was described as being about 5'2" and about 115 pounds to the police when she went missing. What a coincidence. Needless to say, Anna was not reported missing until January 4th when it was her office called the police when she failed to show up for work. Since then, the police have been combing the seaside town of Cohasset for any signs of Anna. Now, initially treated as a missing persons case, the investigator transitioned to a homicide case after Walsh's internet search queries, like I said, which include how to dismember a human, were also discovered. Funny how that works out. Well, prosecutors believe that Walsh gave police misleading statements about his and his wife's actions around the time of her disappearance, buying him some additional time to clean up the possible crime scene. These various statements caused a delay in the investigation to the point that the time frame he didn't report his wife and gave various statements. That allowed him to either clean it up the evidence, dispose of the evidence, and cause delay, which is what the prosecutors are saying he did. And those statements included a confused and rambling alibi when Walsh told police about what he was doing on the day that he said he left his wife for the airport. Those statements included a confused and rambling alibi that Walsh told police about what he was doing on the day he said that his wife left for the airport. He had stated to the police he left his phone at home. People do that all the time. And then he drove to Whole Foods and CVS about 40 miles from his home on January 1st, and then brought one of his sons out for ice cream the next day. But he didn't appear on any of the surveillance footage at either of those stores, and instead of going out for ice cream on January 2nd, he was seen on a video going to a Home Depot where he picked up about $450 in mops, buckets, tarps, tape, and other cleaning supplies. He wore a mask and gloves during the trip as well. Well, after obtaining a search warrant for Mr. Walsh's home, blood was discovered in the basement along with a bloodied and damaged knife. Ooh, you mean knives can get damaged? Well, Walsh has not yet been charged with his wife's disappearance, not yet, and he's pled not guilty to misleading the police charge, and he's currently being held on a $500,000 bond. Now, Mr. Walsh was already under house arrest for charges of wire fraud from 2018, where he pled guilty to a scam where he sold a pair of fake Andy Warhol paintings for roughly $80,000 on eBay. And that's one of those things like, did you really think you were going to get some Andy Warhol photos on eBay? Go figure. Anyway, he pled guilty back in 2021. But under the terms of his house arrest, Mr. Walsh was allocated time where he could leave the home. And during his January 2nd outing to Home Depot, he was supposedly taking his kids to school, even though the school was closed that day. Seems like a really involved father, really knows what was going on. Well, at least the police up there in the Massachusetts area aren't the police down in Tennessee, because these cops have gone wild. So 4 police officers from the Tennessee town of LaVergne, Lavergne, were fired for allegedly engaging in sex on duty with a female police officer who was also fired and accused of taking her top off at what the mayor called a Girls Gone Wild hot tub party. Patrol Officer Megan Hall of LaVergne Police Department is at the forefront of this investigation after it was discovered in December that she engaged in sexual relationships with at least 4 other male officers. Fellow patrol officers Juan Lugo Perez, Louis Powell, Detective Seneca Shields, and Sergeant Henry Ty McGowan admitted to the accusations according to the final report, with Shields claiming he only had engaged in a little bit of stuff with Hall in the department's gym while on duty. Now, Hall is married and is also accused of revealing her breasts where a steamy family Memorial Day boat party with Patrol Officer Patrick Magaloco, who was suspended, and fellow officer David Durman and Eric Statz. Magaloco said that Statz himself, Durham, and Hall were in the hot tub when Hall's top came off before he and Hall went off to have sex in the restroom. Canine Officer Larry Holliday and Patrol Officer Gavin Schroebel were also suspended and charged with sexual harassment after engaging with sexual images with Officer Hall. The hot tub party, also attended by several of the male officers' wives, was hosted on Stat's boat. Now, Magaloco was seen pouring vodka down Hall's throat moments before she took off her top. Now, the report also states that Hall's top came off and Statz helped put it back on because he was trying to protect her. Hall then pulled Magaloco into the restroom and asked if he wanted to, and then later gave him, and when they got off the boat. Hall was open about her relationships with the other officers and actually bragged to Magaloco about Officer Powell's size after performing various sex acts while on duty. Durham and Statz claim they did not have an inappropriate relationship with Hall. Powell, who is married, initially denied having a sexual relationship with Hall several times and claimed that everybody knows she has multiple partners. He later confessed to that. Now, Magaloco told investigators on December 13th that he and his wife had been in an open relationship with Hall since the spring of 2022. He revealed that one day Hall's husband walked in on her and his wife and wasn't on board with the open relationship. At one party, Hall and Magaloco's wife started kissing, and Hall's husband came in the room and seemed upset. Hall appeared to keep her sexual relationships a secret from her husband and asked other officers to borrow money to book hotels. Magaloco told investigators that he was concerned for Hall's mental health since she became heavily intoxicated at his house party in early December and drove home intoxicated. Now, Hall voiced harmful thoughts and on multiple occasions said she should not be alone. Magaloco reported his concerns to the department in December, and Hall told Officer Holliday, who was suspended for sending explicit images, that she had bad days. Holliday told investigators that he once invited Hall and other officers to his home to watch football, and there was some heavy drinking. Then Holliday reported that there was talk of a threesome with him and Hall and Holliday's ex. Holliday reported nothing happened at that particular party, but the officers admitted to having a sexual relationship with Hall and meeting her in hotel rooms for sex. Their encounters was back in mid-November. Now, before Hall was officially hired on the force, she had met up with Officer McGowan's house with her husband and another female. At the time, Hall was a candidate and had taken her clothes off along with the other females, and Hall's husband got upset, the report reads. During that visit, McGowan admitted to taking out his, with Hall in the room and taking a photo of it. He sent that photo to Hall. McGowan denied having any sex with Hall, but revealed explicit images and videos he received from her. Another employee revealed McGowan's approached her while on duty and choked her. He was terminated amid the allegations and the sexual engagements and for workplace violence. Hall initially denied having a sexual relationship with all of the men except for Holiday, which she insists was only at his house or in hotels. She admitted to sending nude images to other officers on shifts, including Holiday, Magaloko, and Officer Schobel. He later backtracked and confessed about Magaloko, but denied being involved with his wife. Magaloko had discussed having a threesome with Magaloko's wife. However, nothing ever apparently happened. Hall also confirmed that she had sexual relations with Lugo Perez and Powell. Lugo Perez initially denied the claims to the investigators, but later admitted he did in fact have sex with Hall at the Go-Kart USA location in Murfreesboro. He also confessed to exchanging nude images with Hall. Hall confessed to an ongoing relationship with McGowan, despite his pushback and denial. Hall confirmed she had sex twice with McGowan, most recently in December at his house in La Verge. And Hall said that she and McGowan had been close forever, and at one time he told her to use me if she ever wanted to have sex. Hall confirmed she and McGowan had sex and sent nudes back and forth. It's unclear if any of the officers are going to appeal. Wow, that was long and somewhat confusing. But look at this officer. Didn't see that coming, but it just shows you why you do not engage in relationships with people that you work with. It always ends ugly. And you certainly shouldn't do it with apparently just about everybody on the police department. My goodness, Miss Hall. Somehow I don't think you're being law enforcement sometime, but I'm sure she'll be opening an OnlyFans page immediately and probably making more money than she's ever made in her life. All right, next on the docket, our dumb criminal of the day. Please meet Spencer Googler. He's accused of stealing packages from people's porches, also known as a porch pirate. Where does he do these things? In Oklahoma. How does he disguise himself? That's right, he puts women's underwear on his head during the commissions of the crime. Take a look at that. Ingenious, isn't it? Ingenious. He knows they got to prove identity. They'll never identify him. Well, the police put out a post saying, hey, this porch pirate with an unusual and questionably effective mask. What do you think about it? Well, they announced that he had been arrested. That's when they named Mr. Googler as the suspected burglar on January 6th. The Street Crimes Division was made aware of porch pirates in a particular area. And apparently it wasn't Mr. Googler's first time. And according to the police, they located Googler's vehicle using surveillance video. This led them to discover that Googler had allegedly committed more acts of porch piracy while wearing female underwear on his head. Officers recognized the suspect from previous porch pirates cases where the suspect had the underwear on. Cops said they found Googler's home and they knocked on the door. He refused to come out. So they secured the house while he remained inside and refused to speak to the police while they obtained an arrest and search warrant for the residence. Once they returned with the warrant, guess what? Mr. Googler exited the house once the police asked him to do so. It's unclear if he came out with female underwear on his head, but he is now charged in 5 counts of larceny, 1 count of knowingly concealing stolen property, and 1 count of grand larceny, held in the Tulsa County Jail on a $17,000 bond. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Please join us tonight, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and then we will do our Patreon show immediately following that. So if you're not a Patreon, become a Patreon. Have a wonderful day, not just a good day. We'll see you next time on Crime Talk.